Hi there, this is Eshu. I'm the abbot here at Zenwest Buddhist Society. This Living Zen-podcast is just one of the many resources we've created at Zenwest to make Zen practice and training more available and accessible to people all over the world. Instructional videos, printable resources, and much, much more are also available on our website at www.zenwest.ca. If you're a regular listener, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop me an email at office@zenwest.ca and let me know who you are, how you got started, and what brought you to Zen. Everything we make available in person and online at Zenwest is only possible because of the support of our members and associates, people like you. If the efforts of our community are making a difference in your life, I'd like to invite you to show your support and take part in making it happen by becoming an associate or member of the Zenwest Sangha. You can do this by clicking the Join Us tab on our website at www.zenwest.ca. Thank you for your support, and thanks for listening.
Please make yourself comfortable. If you'd like to turn to face me, you're certainly welcome to do so. For those not familiar with the Dharma talk as we do it here at Zenwest, this is a short talk we do every Tuesday evening. There's no content, let's say, that you need to remember or pay particular heed to. This practice is essentially without dogma, without a curriculum, you could say. It's about investigating our lives, and my job here is to talk, and you get to listen. You might think of me as another part of the soundscape, like the ventilation fan humming in the background, something like that. Something to include in your experience. Of course, the human voice stirs up our minds, stirs up thoughts, feelings, emotions, images, rather more than a mechanical sound might. That's part of the practice, just to allow that stirring to happen and to witness it, to notice perhaps reactions, just to be with the talk without attaching any particular significance to it. So I just invite you to hold it in that light. I think we've all heard about the recent earthquake in Nepal and the suffering, the death and destruction, dislocation that's come in its wake. After this talk, in the third round, we'll have, as we often do under such circumstances, we'll have some chanting and an opportunity to focus a little bit on that event. I would just like to invite people to participate in it, respond to this event however you can. If you can help out with donations or other forms of help, to do that. To respond naturally, to just allow our hearts to open to this situation. One thing that comes up for me when I when I think of disasters like this that happen, is the wake-up call that is there for me. I tend to think that my life is fairly stable. I have a routine. I engage with the routine. It provides a sense of safety, predictability, security, perhaps. And then something comes out of the blue. Maybe it's on the other side of the world. Maybe next time it'll be on my doorstep. We are, after all, due for a large earthquake sometime in the next few hundred years, and this could be us. And one takeaway for me is, how do I want to spend my time, given that it may be limited? Things may happen quite unexpectedly. What does that say about how I want to engage with the time that I have? Do I want to sort of hide out, you might say, in my zone of safety here? Or do I want to use this time in a more intentional, perhaps, a more directed way? Wake-up calls can come in all sorts of flavors. Sometimes a teacher will shout or do something very unexpected during a Dharma talk as a tangible example of a wake-up call, just a sudden noise. You can't help but be drawn in, engaged. And then we settle back typically into our somnolence, perhaps. Oh. Sometimes the wake-up call is a little longer than just a shout. Some years ago, I found myself building a house. It was the house that I was going to live in, or was currently living in with my family. And I became quite familiar with the use of a hammer. This was a tool of choice for a number of years for me. And I got quite accustomed to its use. So I can imagine myself, and this happened many times, I'm there with my hammer and I'm nailing some sheathing on the outside of the house. And as usually is the case, I'm somewhere else entirely, maybe thinking about some relationship problem, or what am I going to do because one of my children's having a birthday coming up? Wham! It's the same place I hit it the other day, too. Oh, my goodness. Oh. What happened to the birthday party plans? My whole universe is now this finger. It's just front and center. Everything else falls away, and I've got this throbbing finger. Oh my goodness. Oh. Until I look around and I see a cougar creeping up on me. Oh my goodness. What happened to my finger? No, there's no finger here at all. In fact, there is. The finger is still here throbbing away. But it is so background that this cougar has my undivided attention completely. Well, I've never been stalked by a cougar, but there were cougars around. And it might have been like that, but certainly the shift in attention can be exactly like that. What we think, what's happening in our mind can completely and suddenly disappear. It can be superseded, trumped by some foreground activity, something that demands attention. Now, when it's physical, banging my finger, there's pain and all that. You can't miss it. It's like the shout. When there's a physical, elemental threat, like an animal about to pounce, that just arouses all these biological systems, gets everything pumped up. That's all part of this attention shift. This sort of attention, this attention shift, this dropping away into the background and something coming up importantly in the foreground, is every day. We all experience it. It's part of life. We can use this experience and the familiarity that we have with this in our practice. When we sit here, intentionally counting our breath or engaging with some other activity, we can do it with an attention and a vitality which is completely analogous to one of these demand situations that just grabs our attention viscerally. We can be so connected with each breath as it comes in, turns, and then leaves the body. We can be so engaged with that there is literally no room for the other background mental busyness that we brought into the room. We all have our background thoughts, whether they're worrying about our children's birthday party or relationship issues, whatever they are, they can disappear so easily when something more engaging arises. And we can train ourselves to generate that engagement through this practice so that our entire awareness, our whole experience is taken up with the object of our attention. Certainly the room is still there, our background problems are there, It's just that they're dwarfed by the object of our attention. We can use our memory of experiences when we were completely focused to check in, to see how our current presence of mind is doing. Not so much to get all wrapped up with judging and evaluating and, oh, I'm all scattered, I'm not doing it very well tonight, or, oh, this is really a good sit because I'm just settling right in. But to notice what happens, how it happens, and under what circumstances it happens. To come back, to have a guidepost, a light on the dark sea, drawing us towards this complete engagement with what it is we're doing. Certainly my experience is the more I am engaged in what I'm doing, the more fully I appreciate my life. And the fewer regrets I expect I will have when the big earthquake comes and I succumb to it. Just this over and over again, loving, gentle attention that we can bring to what we're doing, and to allow ourselves to train ourselves in the expression of it. Just to let it grow. It is natural. It is our birthright. Thank you for coming here this evening again to engage together with this practice.
Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.